is your Wednesday edition of InfoHub. We start with the following stories. President assures workers that government is working in their interest. Thousands take part in May Day rally, anti-corruption crusade making strides, and a local food scientist is whipping up tasty ice cream with natural fruits. The details after this.
Here's an important message from the Ministry of Finance and the Guyana Revenue Authority.
If you've never filed or paid your taxes, or have deliberately not declared your true income, and now you're worried that you'll be audited by the Guyana Revenue Authority, I have good news for you.
The Ministry of Finance has announced a tax amnesty effective January 1 to September 30, 2018.
So you can now pay all your outstanding income, property, corporate, withholding, and capital gains taxes and get right with the GRA. Visit their office or call them at 227-6060, extension 1201 or 1204 today.
Invest in your country. Pay your taxes.
In our first story this evening, the nation's workers were assured by President David Granger that the government is working in their interest. The president and ministers of government met with union leaders and members at their headquarters during Labor Day observations yesterday. Tiffany Rogers has the details.
So when you're here, we're in office for nearly 3 years. You're talking about over $30 billion just to bail out the sugar industry. So that has soaked up a lot of the revenue that we had hoped to deploy to other sectors of the economy. But you are foremost in our thoughts. We think of you, we think of the circumstances under which you had to live for the past quarter century. So we've been trying within our limited resources to make life better for ordinary working people.
The president and his team visited the Guyana Teachers Union, the Guyana Local Government Workers Union, the Postal and Telecommunications Union, the Public Service Union, and the Clerical and Commercial Workers Union in observation of Labor Day.
So my brothers and sisters, things can only get better. You have a strong union, you have good relations with the union, we have very respectful relations with the union. So we ask that you continue to support our union, continue to support investment in Guyana, all around the country, only on Friday, as in Linden. People are doing magic with their hands. The amount of things you can do with money, the amount of things you can do with simple agricultural commodities. People are learning not only to be employed, but to seek employment, but to employ themselves.
The president was accompanied by ministers of government during his visits. The theme for this year's Labor Day observation is Advancing Solidarity, Promoting Employment and Decent Work. Reporting for InfoHub, Tiffany Rogers.
Earlier on Tuesday, hundreds of workers marched from Middle Street to the National Park as they celebrated their victories, commemorated their history, and rallied for change. More in this Renata LaFleur report.
The march was led by ministers of government and officials who had a special message for workers across Guyana.
Hold forth, stand fast, stay in solidarity. And they know that they have a favorable government. They know that they have a government that is a working class government and a government that looks after workers' rights.
As the minister responsible for labor, I'm doubly happy because this government has done everything to encourage the working class to have their voices heard.
I just want to encourage workers in all settings to unite, to remain in solidarity, and just remember that your government is working towards bettering your working conditions.
So I'm here today in solidarity with workers. Without workers, there's no Guyana. So Guyana, we depend upon the workers, and so I'm proud of workers thanks to be out here. I'm happy to be out here with the working class of people. I would want to say that as president of the Guyana Trades Union Congress, we have come a far way because we're here standing on the shoulders of people like Critchlow, Polydor, Gordon Todd, and so many others. And we are going to continue this fight.
Let's celebrate the workforce and continue to support them so that we can develop at a faster pace in this country.
Workers from all jurisdictions participated in the march.
As a young worker myself, to also lead, meet and greet with all the workers who've been in the system for longer than I am. So I'm really excited to be here today.
I'm happy to be out here to support our labor union and to keep the flow going. We hope for betterment in our workplace and everything.
This is our day. We should celebrate it with no politics, just being workers, being together.
The May Day rally was held under the theme Advancing Solidarity, Promoting Employment and Decent Work. From the National Park, Renetta LaFleur for InfoHub.
The anti-corruption crusade of the coalition government is making strides, says Attorney General and Minister of Legal Affairs Basil Williams. He was addressing the fifth in the series of anti-corruption sensitization seminars on Monday at the Regional Democratic Council office in Fort Wellington, West Coast, Berbice. Here's that report.
Participants at the anti-corruption workshop were urged by Attorney General and Minister of Legal Affairs, Basil Williams, to join in the fight against corruption, given its stagnating effects on the economy.
Anti-corruption is everybody's business. Everybody's business. And the world is going to take even greater interest in fighting the scourge of corruption. Why? Because we spend the money from the developed world in the form of grants, loans, etc. And they are interested in transparency and accountability for the monies that come from their own workers in their countries.
A.G. Williams said the seminars, which are being hosted across the country, are intended to sensitize them to the pitfalls of corruption and the importance of an unbribable public service. He alluded to strides made in addressing corruption locally.
What's standing in the past was really bad. We were second to Haiti in this hemisphere. And I think we made strides since we have come into office. And we keep on improving on that index. But all of a sudden, the remit of SOCO, for example, is anti-money laundering, countering terrorist financing. And then the financial crimes came about after audits and investigations, etc. And that remit was given to SOCO also. As I said, there was no precedent. And then suddenly you're seeing internationally this drive, anti-corruption drive.
The AG pointed to the recent charges of misconduct in public office by officials of the previous administration. This, he said, stemmed from 3 years of investigations by the police and the advice of the police legal advisor, Claudette Singh, senior counsel. The forum was organized by the Attorney General's Chambers and the Ministry of Legal Affairs in collaboration with the regional administration. Participants included regional and NDC officers, teachers, health workers, as well as members of the discipline services. For InfoHub, Stacey Carmichael.
In this report, we hear that greater emphasis is being placed on improving Region 7's healthcare system. Stefan Gabriel has more for us.
Regional Executive Officer Roderick Edinburgh says the regional administration is working to improve facilities to attract and keep medical personnel within the hinterland region.
Accommodation is a problem in the region, which has a spin-off on attracting the requisite skills in the region. They're not there. There's a little paucity of the skills in the region, and hence persons coming from out the region or from way in the interior coming down to Bartik or going to another location, we need to make provisions for them in terms of housing and accommodation.
In addition, Edinburgh says the efforts are continuing to take critical services in education and healthcare to the communities in an effort to reduce costs and time for those needing such services.
We actually taken the medical or the services, both the teachers and medical, to the community. It is very expensive for them to travel from one location to another. So we want to improve our availability of the health facilities. We want to increase them, that's one. And two, we also want to increase the quality and the quantity of the service at those health facilities.
According to Edinburgh, doctors' quarters are being constructed at Isinero and Philippi, while there are resident doctors in Ramadan, Kako, Jawala, Isano, and Imbamadai. An inpatient facility is also soon to be established to cater for patients who have to travel long distances. For InfoHub, Stefan Gabriel.
Zenil Williams now tells us that as the East Bank of Berbice Road project continues, street lamps will be installed in the coming weeks.
Resident engineer Joel Tucker, who is overseeing the $1.2 billion road rehabilitation project, explained that street lamps will be installed from Stanleytown all the way to Everton Village, covering some 5.5 kilometers of road.
The relocation of utilities is ongoing, commencing, I believe, at the first week in March. GWI is currently on the ground working. We expect GT&T and GPL to be on the ground very shortly. The installation of road lighting is about 90% complete. All the poles have been installed. All the fixtures for the lights are in place. We only await the electrification and the placement of the lamps for this project to be completed.
Minister within the Ministry of Public Infrastructure, Annette Ferguson, conducted a first-hand assessment of the road project on Monday, April 30th. 400 meters out of the 5 kilometers of road has been completed with asphalt. Works have been completed in Glasgow, Edinburgh, and Islington. The minister also highlighted some other aspects of the project.
We will be doing some culverts, 2 culverts with and 3 bridges, concrete reinforced bridges. So, as I said before, the works are moving apace.
Some residents said that the project has ensured their commute is now hassle-free.
I feel great about this. For a long time we were waiting for this and we're finally having it.
It's been very difficult for the longest while for commuters to use this road, whether motor vehicle, estate lorry, or people, passengers, human being in the whole. In Region 6 here, I can see a lot of changes concerning building of the roads.
From Edinburgh, East Bank, Berbice, Zenil Williams for InfoHub.
Today, a commemorative centenary stamp honoring the birth anniversary of former President Cheddi Jagan was officially unveiled at the Ministry of the Presidency.
Speaking at the launch held at the Ministry of the Presidency, Director of the Cheddi Jagan Research Center, Haidar Ali, said the stamp is indeed a fitting tribute to the late Dr. Jagan.
It's a fitting tribute to a man who dedicated his entire life for a peaceful, progressive, and democratic Guyana.
The stamp is being produced and designed by the Intergovernmental Phylactic Corporation. Chairman of the Guyana Post Office Corporation, Reverend Raphael Messiah, described Dr. Jagan as one of the founders of the Guyanese nation.
I would like to also characterize this launch as a sign of hope for this nation. A sign of hope that his true aspirations of working for the nation could be realized.
Cheddi Bart Jagan was born on March 22, 1918 at Plantation, Port Moran, British Guyana, and passed away on the 6th of March, 1997. He was the first elected Chief Minister in 1953 and later Premier of British Guyana from 1961 to 1964. He later served as President from 1992 to 1997. Stamps will be available from tomorrow at all post offices countrywide. Zenil Williams for InfoHub.
As more Guyanese work towards developing the Made in Guyana brand, food scientist Shirlene Roberts has been utilizing a number of local fruits to produce homemade ice cream for the local market. Crystal Stull brings us that story.
With over 9 years in the food and manufacturing industry, Roberts explained she wanted to make a difference with desserts and the changing health needs of persons. She then crafted and created Nishit's homemade ice cream using local fruit contents.
You have to consider the fat content because persons are concerned right now about their health, thinking about the sugar content also. And what I learned that if you can make a product that is healthy and doesn't have as much sugar and people can enjoy it, then they would want it.
Since the start of the business in 2012, Roberts said the support has been overwhelming. While her success overrides the challenges she has experienced, Roberts had encouraging words for young entrepreneurs.
When you have that passion, you're driven. And so when the failures come, you can still say, this is what I want to do. And no matter what it takes, I will go after it. And even more so when you have support, because you can't do business all by yourself. You need to partner with someone, maybe someone who has the knowledge if you don't.
Roberts said she is currently rebranding the ice cream container to suit the government's green initiative. The products can be obtained from her Roxham Burnham Drive home and through orders on the Facebook business page. Crystal Stahl for InfoHub.
And finally, in the news tonight, we tell you that the Caribbean Financial Action Task Force's Judges and Prosecutors Conference will be officially opened tomorrow by President David Granger and Commonwealth Secretary General, the Right Honourable Patricia Scotland. The conference is dedicated to workshop exercises and discussions on CFATF's mutual evaluation reports, investigative orders, prosecution and management of money laundering cases, among others. Guyana will be represented by 2 judges and the Director of Public Prosecution, Shalimar Alihak. Connect with us 24/7 on our website, Facebook, Instagram, YouTube, and WhatsApp for more details as we bring you updates on what is happening all across Guyana. Thanks for watching. Goodbye.
Daddy!